Okay, so we have an extra series. We have an extra series. Apparently there was some delays regarding ShoWTimE versus Mixu, so they did not yet begin. This is going to be a fresh series, and we have permission to jump in to our next best of 3. Let's go. Still in round 2. Still in round 2 of Group B, and spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Finnish Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg. It is Mixu. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels. It is ShoWTimE. We go. Here we go, as we are going to be settling in and calming things down. All right, and if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our ZVP. Oh no, we lost the Indy. No, it's the Indy. I think he might just want to cut. Oh yeah, true. That makes sense. Indy, he probably wants to cover spirits. Like Indy, he's always there for his boys, for Mana, Spirit, Geralt, always there for them. So I think he accidentally joined our match, and he wants the spirit match instead. Understandable. But shout out to Indy, much love. As we are settling in. But here we go. For the time being, though, we have our send opener, Hatch Gas Pool, Mixu Force like the unnatural natural. So a bit of a more awkward start here for Mixu. Meanwhile, ShoWTimE just going for the gate expand into Cybercore. Now, ShoWTimE, he does have it in him to mix things up and be hyper aggressive and be in the face of his opponent. I mean, we saw that during the EWC European qualifiers as well in a series against Raynor, where ShoWTimE, he just embraced adepts like no other, just non-stop adepts builds and adept shenanigans against Raynor. So he does have it within him to do so, but at the same time, we all know that's not really the ShoWTimE. That's not really what he prefers. That's not really his go-to style. Would prefer to play standard, get into the mid game. Oh my god, Jesus. Does kill the probe. Okay, I guess that was worth it. A risky move there out of Mixu. Calm down, papi, calm down. Does snipe the probe. But ShoWTimE usually want to slow things down, get into a more safe 3 and 4 base setup and build up towards the mid game. Typically. But now Stargate open out of ShoWTimE. Also, welcome to Tokamak. I mean, we spoke about this briefly in the previous series, but Tokamak is one of the larger maps in the map pool, much more defendable map as well, known for longer later games, and I feel like this map would favor ShoWTimE, and we'll see how Mixu will adjust. Again, we saw lots of German taxis and all-ins from Fiant earlier today. We could see something similar out of Mixu. I don't really like the idea of going for a German taxi here on Tokamak, but I will keep an eye on him. Now droning, but now saturating. ShoWTimE does threaten the shade. Tordep's taking 1-shot drones. And does commit. Yeah, does shade into the main. Gets 1, 2, 3 drone kills already. Yeah, brutal start. Gets 3. Does not get surrounded. Gets 4. 4, 5, 6. I mean, 5 is already insane. Yeah, with that successful start here for ShoWTimE. 5 drones for 2 adepts. A better start for the Protoss. And Mixu, he's moving out for his counterattack. Does move out. He wants a third. ShoWTimE's in position. He's ready. And he shouldn't lose anything here at all. Yeah, Lings are deflected. ShoWTimE defends. Behind this fast Eva chamber out of Mixu, this should be for +1 melee. Mixu setting up for Ling Hydra. Oh, nice round. That was cancelled. And Mixu's gearing up towards a longer game. Again, typically if you're going for a fast Eva chamber, it's typically for +1 melee, and it's typically to skip roaches, to go into a faster lair, to preserve your gas, to get into Hydra production, is typically where this leads. And ShoWTimE moves out. Likewise, no support. Oh god, there's no support. The third, queens are out of position. More drones going to be going down. It's a brutal start. It's a brutal start here for Mixu. Ay, this should not be happening. Not this many losses. 6 drones, that's what, 11 in total. Yeah, Mixu panicking a little bit. Mixu. Calm down, baby, calm down. Things they sim to the main, and thankfully he does notice. Does pull away. I'm a little bit afraid to look here, but yeah, 11 worker kills, 12 lings, an overlord as well. So far, it's been a clean start here from ShoWTimE. Going for his follow-up. ShoWTimE, he hasn't seen the tech yet. He's not fully aware. But if he has an inkling of it, he could go into charge instead of blink, and he could try to go for an earlier timing. But nah, never mind. Standard follow-up, +1 and blink on the way. And ShoWTimE is not done. He wants more damage. Oh god, the Spore's out of position. No queens, 5 more drones. 16 in total. He gets a queen as well. No transfuse. Yeah, there's ONG. There's no ONG. Queen goes down. An FSA busts into the bases. And ShoWTimE is just pulling Mixu apart. Mixu just cannot keep up. Brutal losses here. More drones going to be falling. And it'll just snowball out of control. Just one thing led into another. 10 more drones. We're not done. He's not done, Bappy. Not done. Nowhere close. 13 drone kills. Here come the oracles. Oh no, there's no spore in the natural. There is no spore. Oracle pulls away. Gets another 16 drones. And before we can really move out with the main army, I mean, this is game-ending damage. Unfortunately, this is game-ending damage. You cannot afford to take this many losses at this level of play. When ShoWTimE moves out, he has potential to just end the game. Just end the game then and there. Mixu is stuck redroning, resaturating. Because of that slows down his tech, it slows down his production, slows down his army. Just now getting his hydrogen should already be done by now. His 4th base should already be getting saturated, and he should be focusing on his army, but that's just not the case. He's just not there. Lings are amassing, 24 lings in production. Let's go. There's oracles behind this. Queens are under fire. Gets 1, gets 2. Oracle's heading up. 1 oracle's gonna go down. Nice pick up. High NG oracle as well. Stage trap gets baited. Mixu is holding on. ShoWTimE has been skipping warpins. He's banging 1,000 minerals. Yeah, it's been missing warpins. Missing warpins. Gateways are just now coming online. ShoWTimE just now getting into charge. Storm. Another expansion. ShoWTimE also getting a little bit too excited. True. It's like, I dealt so much damage. I've never never been here before. Oh my god. What do I do? As Mixu comes in, can he force a cancel? Nice round. Yeah, nice round. Oracle's out of position. The base is going to be denied. Nicely done. Denies the 4th. Ooh, does force out the Archons as well. Mixu. Nice little wins here and there. Gets 4 probe kills. Forces out the Archons. Denies the 4th base. Keeps the army busy. And we're on that road to recovery. ShoWTimE is still very much so ahead, bear that in mind. Like this, like these have been some nice moves out of Mixu. He needs more. The reality here, he needs more than that, because here comes Storm, and he's up against Ling Main Hydra. Remember, bailing speed is delayed. Like everything is delayed for Mixu because of the early game, so no bailing speed, no Hydra upgrades. There's Hydra speed but no Hydra range. Oh god, good. Storms are brutal. Shuts down the Ling Bane. And he's still got another storm in the back line. It does connect. Where are the reinforcements? They're across the map. Yeah, Zelsa busts into the bases. Zel's going for the expansion. Stalker's still pushing in. It's a bit of a chaotic fight here from ShoWTimE, as he otherwise could have just reinforced the main army, but he will kill the expansion. Does get the base. The Prism's in the center. Catching up the queens. There are 5 High Templar coming in, but Mixu's holding on. And once again, ShoWTimE is banking up a lot of resources here. Oh, losing his entire army, actually. The army goes down. Where are the war pins? Again, we have over 1,000 minerals. We've been missing war pins. Oh, ShoWTimE, we gotta lock in. Ay, ay, ay. Storm of the Hydras. Storm pops up. ShoWTimE holds. Setting up on 4 bases. He's throwing down extra gateways. Getting up to 11. Getting up to 11 gate spaces. They crash into the High Templar. Better connections there from Mixu. Oh, but there's no answer to Zealots. Yeah, Zealots they overwhelm. They catch out the Zerglings. They catch out the Hydras. ShoWTimE still taking better trades, better fights. Mixu behind this. Oh, the drone count is in the gutter here. He lost a bunch of workers earlier and he just hasn't really re-droned. So he's stuck on under 3 base saturation, 63 drones. So Mixu is still not in an ideal position. He's still behind. He has a worse economy. And as a result, we'll have a worse army, or a smaller army, I should say. Thankfully, ShoWTimE going for run-bys. Mixu able to handle him a portion at a time. Not the run-by on the right-hand side. And ShoWTimE building up his main army instead. So this is going to give time for Mixu to potentially re-drone and resaturate. As we can see, he's not. Is the problem here. There's no more drones in production. Like, Mixu's still hyper-fixated on purely Lingbane Hydra. Yo, we got Sky Toss on the way. ShoWTimE is going to slow things down, getting into Sky Toss, into Carriers, Tempest, Mothership, waiting for the second Stargate. Oh. Yo, we got the slow drop. Let's go. Again, Mixu is pretty desperate here to get damage, so whatever we can do. Slow drop into the main. Send it, Pappy, send it. Mixu fighting for his life. He gets in. Oh, catches an Archon. Ooh, brutal storms on the Hydras. Yeah, brutal storms. Army gets in, but there are Zealot reinforcements. And at the same time, Zealots across the map as well. Drones are going down. There's barely any drones to begin with. Yeah, the drop was unsuccessful. Zealots, they dealt with it. And ShoWTimE once again moving out without a War Prism. It's being rebuilt. Prism is on the way. And GG gets called. Mixu does lose another expansion. And again, Mixu, he has no economy. Cannot deal with the army. And ShoWTimE takes game number 1. Whew, GG, well played. ShoWTimE does take a lead. But what I will say, first things first, ShoWTimE had a crazy opener. Like, the early game was, and the early to mid game was heavily in favor of ShoWTimE. Remember, ShoWTimE, he killed, was it 20 drones? Was it like 26 workers went down? It was insane early game damage. ShoWTimE took a massive lead after crippling Mixu, but it almost kind of felt like ShoWTimE, it's almost like a kid in a candy store, where like he got ahead and he got a little bit too excited and maybe a little bit flustered as a result. And we saw that was maybe slipping up here and there when it came to warping in, reinforcing, getting his production up and running, taking his expansion. There was definitely some inefficiencies there in the aftermath for ShoWTimE, but he was far enough ahead anyway. Like, the reality is that he was far enough ahead where he could afford to make some mistakes. He could afford to take some bad trades, some bad losses, and he still maintained his lead. Still maintained that lead. Still wasn't quite enough for Mixu to recover. But, you know, he was doing what he could. Doing what he could there. Engaging with the High Templar, denying the 4th base, catching out the Prism. He had his moments. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. So we're getting into game number 2. As spawning in the top right hand corner here of Ultra Love, we have the German Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sentinels, leading the series 1-0. It is ShoWTimE. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. We have the Finnish Zerg. We'll see if we can tie things up and bring us to the ace match. It is Mixu. We go. So we are settling into our game. Settling into game number 2. Oh yeah, the fanfare, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Looked scary for ShoWTimE for a moment. It did. As we mentioned, like ShoWTimE, like after he took a massive lead early on, like he had like a shaky follow up there. There were definitely some missteps and some mistakes that Mixu was able to capitalize on. But unfortunately, what we emphasize as well is that Mixu, he was never able to recover economically, right? He was never able to find the room, or he never felt like he had the room to drone, to resaturate, to get back into a solid economy. He was pretty all in with how he was playing, pretty committed. But from there, we're getting into game 2. So far, standard openers, Mixu force take the unnatural natural. ShoWTimE going for the gate expand into Cybercore. So far, so good. And hopefully Mixu can tighten up his early game. Again, that early game defense from Mixu was, it was brutal. It was brutal, losing so many workers to the Adepts, to the Oracles, to more Adepts, to more Oracles. It was, it's a rough start. As from here, we have our tech of choice. It's going to be a Stargate opener out of ShoWTimE. Does open Stargate. From here into Oracle. And we'll see if Mixu can tighten out that early game. As the first Adept does move out. Just threatening a shade. Committing even. Getting eyes on the third. And shouldn't get too much done here. Again, it's only one Adept, it cannot one-shot. So it does thread the mineral line. That second Adept is going to be zoned away, but they're going to be meeting up. And catching out the Zerglings, going back into the main. Oracle's on the way. And again, 2 Adepts taking one-shot workers. They now do pose a threat. He gets 1. He gets 2. Yeah, 2 drones going down. Nice drone drilling here out of Mixu. Will clean this up. Whew. And again, a much cleaner defense this time from Mixu. Still will lose 3 drones, but I mean, that's a far cry from what we saw last time. From what we saw in game 1. It could be worse. From there, Mixu counterattacks. ShoWTimE's claiming his own third. Wings are going for the probe. And they will snipe it. They won't quite delay the expansion. Actually, never mind. Yeah, the Oracle's out of energy. Can we force a cancel? And we can. Not bad here. Mixu kills the probe, cancels the base, contains his opponent on 2 bases, even diving on the Adepts. But that second Oracle has arrived and will defend. You know, a fast roach one here by Mixu, hidden behind the main base. We're setting up for the all-in. Creep is spreading. And we're soon to push. Not a German taxi. We're not going to be loading up. We are instead walking. We're walking across the map. We have queens, we have roaches, we have lings. Mixu cutting workers at 33, and we are committing to the all-in. Now, ShoWTimE is not aware. ShoWTimE, he hasn't seen much as to what's going on. Didn't see the tech. As behind this is no defensive void raid, no additional oracles, just 3. Getting to a forge. For now, ShoWTimE has no idea. Has no idea what's going on. Lings do move out. So far they do catch out the Adepts. Oh, the Oracles, they do punish. There's a shit into the bases. Roaches are still pushing. Again, Mixu's still very much so all in. Collapsing the army. Takes down all 4 depths. Not bad. And here he comes. And again, no shield batteries. No nothing. ShoWTimE just hasn't realized, or he wasn't aware of the all-in. We have 18 more Lings on the way. He does take down one of the Ravagers. Not bad. Gets one. Going for the other. The Queens are still moving out. It's a delayed all-in here from Mixu. Oh, almost. Almost does connect. Forcing his way in. Nice Miles. Knocking down the gateway. The gateway goes down. Busts into the natural. Boys are being pulled. And can Mixu pull this off? Takes on the pylon. Depowers everything. The SOS pylon goes down. Shield barriers mean nothing. There's no other pylons. Once again gets knocked down as well. But the shield barriers are back up and running. Shield barriers are back up. Oracles defend. And ShoWTimE is holding. Yeah, ShoWTimE does hold. Does lose 11 workers, but ShoWTimE still has a worker lead. Still has a 3rd base as well. The Queens, they arrive after the army dies. No, we're too late. We're too late. Where were you? Feels bad, man. Again, the Queens, if you remember, they went the long way around. They went the long way around. They were off of creep for a long time, for most of the walk. The Queens were late. We're still getting on top of the 3rd. Okay. Never mind. Still catch out some Stalkers. The 3rd base should still go down. And ShoWTimE will defend on 2 bases. He'll defend on 2. Oh. Gets one of the Queens. Loses an Oracle. As he will lose a 2nd Oracle as well. Yes, some roll forces there for ShoWTimE. 15 probe kills, the Nexus as well. And now Mixu drones. Now he's droning, now he's saturating. Mixu, he may have just done well enough. Still has to drone as hard as he can. And ideally still has to contain. Just contain ShoWTimE for as long as possible. And ShoWTimE, how many gateways? He's been throwing out gateways this entire time. Getting up to 5, soon to be 6. 5 gates. Okay, 5 gates on 2 bases. He will soon break out. This is a lot of creep to work through. And ShoWTimE will slowly expand. Behind this, Mixu going in once again. Slips into the bases, gets us around. Oh, getting caught out there. Losing 1, losing 2 Ravagers. Lings, they don't get much done either. Plenty of shield batteries. ShoWTimE defends. It doesn't lose a Stalker. And Mixu is throwing away a lot. Yeah, this is not worth it. Oh no, Mixu! He's throwing away so much here. The Lings, the Ravagers as well. I'm afraid to look, but that was 2 Ravagers, 31 Zerglings, and a Queen. Brutal trades. ShoWTimE back at home, he's supply blocked. Ravagers are getting caught out once again. So he wasn't in the worst position, but now losing far too much. Mixu going for a run by, setting it for a counterattack. ShoWTimE is in position. Meanwhile, Mixu still hasn't really droned up too much. Work count is still very low. We're even going into DTs. Let's go. Dark Templar on the way. Let's go. Send it back. Send it. Meanwhile, Mixu's on 46 workers. Again, he still just hasn't really found the room to drone. He needs to desperately. If this game is going to go any longer, he makes 24 more Zerglings, though. Oh, boy. He's making more Zerglings, committing to a greater army. Once again, at least trying to. But honestly, like, these 36 Zerglings on the way, it's hurting him more than helping. They could be drones. It could be an economy. he set up for a Zergling run by. Hydras are amassing at least somewhat. Mixu makes a couple of workers, a couple of drones. It does seem like Mixu's mainly terrified that ShoWTimE's going to counterattack and push. The problem is that he isn't, right? The problem is that ShoWTimE he's redroned. He's resaturated his third base. ShoWTimE has a greater economy. He's just been building back up. And Mixu has forced himself into another all-in. It's an Oracle. Well, a couple of Stalkers even. Behind this, now Mixu's droning, but again, this is late. Like, these are delayed drones here from Mixu. A delayed economy. ShoWTimE investing into Shadow Stride. Into Blink for the DTs. Does deny the fourth. Not bad. Fourth base is denied. DTs are getting into the bases. The delayed DT harass here. Drones are going down. Yeah, I mean, there weren't many to begin with. Brutal losses. Thankfully, only 2. Thankfully. Sorry, 3. Two of them get caught out. The other does waddle away. Tries to dive in. Behind this is no splash damage, bear that in mind. There's no storm. True. Like, there's no storm, there's no Colossus. Just a gateway composition, but there are so many Stalkers. And you can see this around. No, Mixu getting himself caught. Tries to break out. But we're getting on top of the Hydras, getting on top of the Ravagers. Dark Templar gonna be waddling in. Snipes the Overseer. A little bit too late. So a messy engagement here from ShoWTimE, and Mixu, can he pull this off? Oh no, the DTs! Yeah, the mass DT, they get in. Zero detection, they can blink on the army. And Mixu will lose everything. The Hydras, the Roaches, the Ravagers, the base gets saved. ShoWTimE up in workers, up in expansion. Again, it was a messy defense, but it worked. I suppose. It worked. It's fine. And now we're getting into Storm. DC's a counterattack once again. 7 more drone kills. Mixu, it's all or nothing at this point. It's all or nothing. Storm is almost done. Still a ways away though. So no storms for this. And army does pull away. Lings, they bust into the bases, but there's plenty of stack defense. Cannons, shield batteries. Lings, they get a couple of probe kills, which is nice, but there's defensive DTs. And ShoWTimE defends. ShoWTimE defends, he attacks, he counterattacks, DTs everywhere. ShoWTimE, he's having fun. It's like, this is how it's like to be like an animal. True. Just DTs, and GG gets called. ShoWTimE overwhelms, and ShoWTimE will claim the series 2-0, taking down Mixu. GG. GG, well played. A very chaotic game and a very chaotic series here between ShoWTimE and Mixu. ShoWTimE does claim it, and I do feel like ShoWTimE had just a greater early game, at least in both game 1 and even here in game 2 as well. But with that, did prove to be a bit too much. Did overwhelm Mixu, and with that, ShoWTimE will claim the series. But again, shout out to Mixu, he was able to make a series out of that. Like, there was definitely a back and forth, and definitely some good moments from Mixu, especially in game 1. Like, game 1 did have some good moments, did have some good moments here against ShoWTimE. Not enough to recover, but enough to, you know, make a game out of it nonetheless. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are now hopping over into our next series. Looks like our players were waiting for us, and we are jumping into a Terran versus Protoss matchup. between Spirit and Lunacy. Let's go.